my curious and playful Gemini friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. It's a week that starts quietly, Gemini, but there's a hum beneath the surface you can't quite tune out. You might find yourself carrying a sense of restlessness, as if something important is waiting to be named, but you aren't sure you want to be the one to say it aloud. There's a tension in your chest, a subtle ache where decisions and memories live together. Maybe you've been replaying certain moments in your mind, old words, unfinished conversations, crossroads you passed without choosing. This isn't regret exactly. It's more like an awareness that the past is catching up, asking for your attention in the present. You feel the weight of wanting to get it right this time, of not repeating old patterns. Yet there's also a quiet hope, flickering, that comes from sensing change is possible. All of this lives right below your words, coloring the way you listen and speak. You notice yourself pausing, looking for the right moment to share what's really on your mind. Underneath, you're searching for a sense of release, some way to free yourself from the invisible threads of the past week's questions and emotional loops. Within this quieter tension, the card of Judgment appears, not as a verdict but as a mirror. You recognize the feeling of being at a threshold, a place where the past and future meet in the present. There's a pull to look honestly at the choices you've made, especially the ones still echoing in your daily life. It's not about fault, but about noticing how certain patterns linger. You might be aware of the ways you've held yourself back, or the moments you've spoken truths that were hard to hear. There's an urge to bring something hidden into the light, to speak openly about what matters most to you, even if your voice is unsteady. This week you may sense old judgments, your own or those of others, surfacing unexpectedly in your thoughts, shaping how you see yourself. You feel both the sting of past criticism and the relief of seeing things more clearly now. There's a temptation to hide, to let things pass unspoken, but it's matched by a longing to finally let yourself be seen, imperfections and all. Your inner state is one of awakening, a slow, sometimes uncomfortable, always honest return to your truest self. You're aware that you can't move forward without really being here now, with all the difficult feelings and the hope that something new can grow from them. This is the tension of the week, the balancing act between wanting to move on and needing to pause for a deeper reckoning. You feel the edges of your old story, but you're beginning to trust that you're more than the sum of your past choices. This realization is both sobering and liberating. It asks you to hold space for your complexity, to allow yourself a measure of compassion as you prepare for what comes next. In this honest, sometimes raw state, the week's path starts to reveal itself. The emotions you've been holding, uncertainty, hope, regret, become the ground you walk on. Because you're looking at yourself with greater clarity, you can see that the next steps aren't obvious or easy. The tension you feel doesn't resolve itself with a single insight. Instead, it opens into a landscape of choices, none of them simple. You sense that the pressure to decide is building, that waiting too long might carry its own cost. Yet you also know that each option comes with consequences you can't fully anticipate. The very act of seeing yourself truly means you can't ignore what needs to be addressed. This is how your inner awakening naturally gives rise to the path ahead, a path marked by both uncertainty and possibility. The Two of Swords arrives quietly, like the hush before a decision is made. You find yourself at a crossroads, but not the dramatic kind. It's more subtle, woven into the routines of your daily life. Maybe it's a conversation you've been putting off or a choice about where to invest your time and energy. The pressures are real. Competing priorities, old loyalties, and the silent expectation that you'll keep things balanced for everyone else. There's momentum in your week, but it's not a rushing current. It's a slow build, a tightening of circumstances that asks for your attention. You might notice friction between what you feel and what you think you should do. The outside world seems to demand a clear answer, but your heart hesitates. There's a sense of standing still while everything around you moves, of waiting for a sign or some clarity that hasn't yet arrived. The friction isn't just external, it lives inside you in the gap between your intuition and your logic. You may feel pulled in two directions, wanting to honor both your own needs and the needs of others. Each option seems to close a door, and yet no door feels fully open. The pressure to decide can feel heavy, but you also sense that waiting forever isn't possible. Underneath the surface, your week is shaped by these small, meaningful moments of pause. Each day, the choices you make, what to say, what to hold back, what to prioritize, become a quiet testament to your desire for honesty and balance. The world presses for an answer, but you know that true resolution can't be forced. The week moves forward, and so do you, step by tentative step. Potential doesn't appear out of nowhere. It waits for engagement, for the moment you decide to meet your life as it is. The crossroads you stand at are not fixed. They shift as your awareness grows. What becomes possible depends not on the world's demands, but on the way you choose to show up for yourself. Every small act of honesty, every time you pause to listen to what you truly feel, opens a little more space for something new to unfold. The tension you feel isn't a wall, it's a threshold. The more consciously you meet it, the more it reveals about what you're ready to create next. As the week's potential comes into focus, the King of Wands stands in the doorway, not as a distant ideal, but as an invitation. You sense in yourself a growing confidence, not loud or reckless, but steady and clear-eyed. This isn't about proving anything to others. It's about recognizing the power that comes from owning your choices, even the ones that scared you. You realize you have more influence than you thought, not by controlling outcomes, but by setting the tone for how you meet what comes. There's a warmth in you, a creative spark waiting patiently for your attention. You notice your willingness to take a small risk, to speak a truth that matters, or to stand up for a value you care about. Growth feels less like a leap and more like a steady step forward, rooted in honesty. You begin to see how your presence changes the room, how your willingness to be real draws others into deeper conversation. In moments where you might once have hidden your uncertainty, you now sense the strength in letting it be seen. This week, possibility looks like making your mark in quiet ways, by showing up, by following through on what feels true, by letting your actions speak for what you believe. The invitation isn't to be perfect, but to be present. The more you trust your ability to handle what arises, the more you discover new avenues opening in your relationships, your work, your sense of self. When you look back across the week, you can feel the thread connecting every moment. The tension that began as a quiet ache became a doorway to honesty. Judgment showed you that self-recognition, even when uncomfortable, is the ground for real change. The crossroads of the Two of Swords asked you to sit with discomfort, to honor the complexity of your choices rather than rushing for easy answers. And in meeting each moment with as much awareness as you could muster, you found the steady confidence of the King of Wands, an inner sense of authority that doesn't shout but guides you gently toward what matters. It's not about erasing the past or solving every problem in a single week. Instead, it's about learning to trust your own process to meet yourself where you are. The week closes with a sense of quiet reassurance. You've discovered that you can hold tension and possibility at the same time, and that your willingness to engage honestly is what shapes your path forward. There is no need to rush or force resolution. Each step, no matter how small, is enough for now. You are quietly, steadily becoming more yourself. Actionable insights for Gemini this week. Let yourself pause before you answer a difficult question. Try naming one feeling that keeps returning today. Notice where your energy feels strongest and spend a little more time there. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am allowed to see myself honestly. Each choice I make belongs to me alone. My presence brings clarity to every moment. I trust the strength I feel growing inside me. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.